the opening race for the day. Yes, of course, fills its stall. Now they stand. Yes, of course, jumps an odds-on favourite on debut. They're racing. Storm Lord from the inside, beat out Play Lady Play. Budgerigar also flew the gates. Away quickly on the outside, yes, of course. Going forward, Late Vintage in search of the lead as well as they settle properly, and Smoker's going to drive up just behind those. Then Gratias Dio settling down near the rail. Getting back into the field then is Designer Brief as they leave the back straight. Or Chiller back there as well, being followed by Rustic Rose, and from its wide gate, Queen's Gift was forced to go right back to the tail end of the field. The newcomer Late Vintage, though, was taken to the top by the Pontiff, and Harvey had them under his control at the 550. Late Vintage led Smoker. Over on the inside, Storm Lord. Heeled up behind them, Budgerigar, followed on the rails by Gratias Dio. The same also could be said here for the favourite, yes, of course, trying to find the bridle at the top of the straight. Comes to the outside, begins to wind up. Followed further back by Designer Brief and Orchilla, weaving its way through. Late Vintage joined by Storm Lord. Budgerigar keeps coming. Gratias Dio is starting to quickly pick its way through the field as well. Likewise, Rustic Rose over on the inside. Gratias Dio got the head in front, though. It's Gratias Dio. Gratias Dio won it from Storm Lord, and over on the rails, Rustic Rose from Budgerigar, Late Vintage, and then just behind those, the favourite, yes, of course. They were followed further back when they'd pulled up next of all. Designer Brief or Chiller, then Play Lady Play, Smoker back there in the field. And the money for Queen's Gift was well astray, and it never beat a horse home after settling back at the tail. Number one is the winner, Gratias Dio. RWWA on return. First up here, big blower in the betting market, 460 out to 750. And despite the drift, proved too good for Storm Lord, Rustic Rose, and Budgerigar in fourth place. After 5 minor placings from 6 previous runs, it salutes in a maiden this afternoon. This God Has Spoken 5-year-old returning here for Donald O'Connor. RWWA in the saddle, and he was able to quickly get off the back of Storm Lord, who he eventually got the upper hand over, and came between it and also Budgerigar under RWWA's hard riding to get it home to victory first up. Beating Storm Lord also by God Has Spoken from Morning Sky, and pushing up inside of those near the rails was Rustic Rose on return. 1, 2 and 8 here the placings. 1, 2, 8. Gratias Dio for Mrs. L. McCann, B. Williams, B. Messer, A. Rattray and P. Macaulay, and B. RWWA there getting it home for the first time in 7 runs. Defeating Storm Lord for Tina Glasson, Ms. V. Townsend, prepared by Ryan Hill, ridden by Victoria Corver. Rustic Rose, number 8, third home by Nakoni from Lady Denman for Ms. M. Van Maris, Ms. E. Pelham, Clint Johnston Porter in the saddle for trainer Frank Van Maris. Budgerigar fourth, and behind those was Late Vintage, who showed a bit first up. They beat off Yes, of course, who was under pressure, the favourite, over the latter stages. Race number 3, the 1,000-metre Amelia Park Handicap, clear of any alterations, as RWWA returns aboard Gratias Dio, who was returning as well this afternoon.
He was returning after 283 days. Haven't seen him since December of last year. Returns a winner. He's a big boy. I dare say, Dan, that he's enjoyed the time that he's had off, and you've given him plenty of time to mature.
Yeah, we've always had a very high opinion of him. We didn't leave him off on purpose because he's had a lot of feet issues, etc. But it's done him the world of good. He's developed, he's come back a stronger unit in his head as well, you know, and we're hoping for bigger and better things from here on. How
much would he weigh? Just looking at him coming in, he's got a fair structure to him. He
came in at 590, he's down to 560. We haven't had to kill him with fast work, so he still holds a lot of body fat, but he's a horse that will improve from week to week, you know.
What were you thinking during the run today?
I thought when he was a bit slow out the gates, we might have been in a bit of trouble traffic-wise. Thanks, Brett. And just then when I seen Brad angling off the rail, I thought, oh, we might we might be going the wrong way here, but he obviously felt he had enough of a horse to do what he was doing, you know.
Is this the right time of year to have him in with these bit of showers around, a little bit of sting out of the ground for those feet?
Absolutely, he's had some great form down in Pinjarra last prep on soft and heavy ground. He's a quick horse. He's the only horse I've had to do 58 seconds in a trial over 1,000 metres, so he's got lots of ability that way, but hopefully he can handle the softer ground and bigger tests coming ahead, you know.
1,200 metres today. We've seen him over 1,400 previously. Do you look to step him up now?
Absolutely, without a doubt. We've always said that he might make a Port Cup horse, so we've just kind of dot the I's and cross the T's, and hopefully he'll step up to that next year, you know.
Onwards and upwards from here. Well done.
Thanks, Bernie. Cheers.
There is Dan O'Connor. Let's get to Brad RWWA.
Well, that is an opinion, isn't it? We'd grab Brad RWWA for a word, Brad. An inside barrier and 1,200 metres for him probably meant traffic at stages on paper. How did it all pan out?
Yeah, but it sort of meant, look, he's probably, if you draw an ordinary, you would have ended up maybe out of your ground. You know, he hasn't got the tactical speed to counteract that from an outside gate, so you probably would have been back at the tail and might have been tough. And it always looked like Victoria Corvers would, from the inside, be on the speed, and if we could just get away well enough and hold her back, which we're able to, you know, we should get our chance. And look, he wasn't an impressive wingers. I tell you what, if Victoria's had it kicked even, you know, in another 2 lengths more than what it did, I would have picked it up. As soon as we sort of got to the front, he just hasn't, he just, oh, okay, my job's done, and he just sort of starts to float a little bit. So I know he's got plenty of upside. Maybe down the track, I just wonder whether Blinkers will see a big improvement on him, but you know, it's no reason to be rushing it just yet. He got the job done today and he's come back well. Listening
to Dan and watching his replays of his previous preparations, you'd suggest that maybe further will be better as well?
Oh, no question. You know, look, even though, you know, his better runs last prep were over 1,400, it might have even been out to a mile, one of them. So, no question. And he pulled up so well today. His breathing when he got back was like he just had a trial. So, like I said, there's lots of upside for him, and his form, there's a lot of good form around him that last prep.